Hi loves, it's Elle and welcome back to my channel, and thank you so much for being here. I do want to welcome all of our new members to our squad family. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope you find this to be a fun, relaxing, and safe place about all things beauty. And for all of my returning loves, it is so good to see you. Today is going to be a special Foundation Friday because I'm going to teach you how to use the same foundation whether you have oily skin, combination skin, or dry skin. So let's get into those tips. Hit that subscribe button, share this with somebody that you think might like it, and let's do it. All right, so we are going to be using the same foundation in the same exact way, but we are going to be using it for different skin types. I do want to say thank you so much to today's sponsor, Miraness. They are so kind to sponsor us today and share these tips with you as I have been wearing one of their new foundations. This is the Velvet Maxi Lift Foundation a lot lately, and I thought to myself, wow, this foundation really is amazing for all skin types, and I want to demonstrate it. So they were kind enough to help me out with that. So a couple things to start out with. First of all, I'm going to start putting what I wear. I'm going to try to remember what I wear as far as skincare in the description box below so you guys can see how I prep my face, all right? I have normal to dry skin, so how I prep my face is going to be for my skin type. So I'm going to do the right side for my normal to dry skin and my left side of my face for my combination to oilier skin types, all right? So for my drier skin types, I have obviously prepped my skin like I normally would. I have put on a heavier moisturizer, and then on this side of my face I have obviously prepped with my serums, but I've put a lightweight moisturizer on. I have quite a bit of glow going on right now because it's just the skincare I used is extremely kind of hydrating and glowy. Again, it'll be in the description box. So for my people that are more dry, use a primer. I'm using the Velvet Maxi Sculpt. This is full of anti-aging properties, obviously cruelty-free, free of so many nasties. But what this is going to do is going to help contour the face as well as give that extra added hydration into the skin and give the foundation a little bit more staying power. And so for your drier skin types, you want to start out with a primer that has a little bit more of that hydrating quality to it. It also has a nice stick to it as well, so you can feel like there is something for the foundation to gravitate towards and hold on to. All right. Now for the other side of the face, again, prepping with that lightweight moisturizer and using an oil controlling primer or a blurring primer. And that's what I'm actually going to use, is a pore blurring primer, and one that controls oil. Even if you are extremely oily or you are more combination, I would suggest working your primer into only the areas that you really need it in. You do not necessarily need that oil mattifying primer all over the face unless you are extremely oily. All right, so you can see already that this side of the face is much more mattified. What inspired this video is I get a lot of questions about how to apply foundations for different skin types, and so I thought I would kind of share this with the same foundation in two different ways. Now, the next step is going to be let your primer set for about 2 to 3 minutes, and then you want to grab a foundation. Now, this foundation is a more skin-like foundation. It's not super matte. It's not super glowy. So that is the foundation type that I recommend for any skin type in general, unless you are extremely, extremely oily, like I'm serious, like within 15 minutes you are oily, then you're going to want to get a foundation that's specifically for you. But this one can be pretty matte and can really, you know, kind of customize to your own skin. So what I'm going to do for the right side of the face is I am going to be using a damp beauty blender, but for the left side of my face, I am going to be using a beauty blender or a beauty sponge that is not wet. So my favorite one is this guy right here, and you want to be careful not to pull on top of that primer. You want to just tap up and down. Now, this foundation is so jam-packed full of anti-aging ingredients. It has hyaluronic acid in it. It has green tea. I have my little notes over here. It has vitamins B and E in it. It also has mistletoe extract for brightening and clarity of the skin. and it is so many things that it's free of. It's also gluten-free for my lovely people that really care about gluten-free products. It is gluten-free as well as paraben-free, phthalate-free, mineral oil-free, propene glycol-free, lead-free, formaldehyde-free, synthetic dyes, and synthetic fragrance-free. So the reason why I'm using a beauty blender that is not damp is because we do not want to add any more glow to the side of the face that doesn't need it. You can also absolutely use your hands with this foundation or any foundation that we are talking about. But this, I just feel like this foundation looks so much like skin. It is a medium coverage. You can build it up to full, but that was really quick. You can just pop that on, okay? So you see it's not super overly glowy. Obviously I have bright lights coming in at me, so the lights kind of start to bounce off the contours of my face. We will go into natural light and I will show you what that looks like. Okay, so my beauty sponge is wet. Now I'm going to be applying the foundation with the beauty sponge on the other side of the face for my more drier skin types. Do you see how much the glow already is innately in the differencing of just wetting your tool? This is the same foundation. Absolute same foundation, just a different application technique and a different primer. So this is really where I think some of you guys struggle with picking out the perfect foundation. It's really about the prep of your skin and the way you apply it, what your tools are. And this goes on really quickly. Again, you can start to build this to however however much coverage you want. You know I don't like a lot of coverage on my forehead, but I do prefer a little bit more coverage down here. All right, so you can absolutely see already that this side of the face is much more mattified and this side of the face is much more glowy and dewy. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go apply my concealer, pop my brows on, and then we're gonna set the face together because that is a real big point that I don't think a lot of people talk about. All right, so brows and concealer are on. Just wanted you to see the face up close and personal. Again, we are going to be going into natural light so you can see. Love it, love it. It just feels so lightweight on the skin. This has been one of my go-to foundations for a little while now. Now, for setting the face, if you have more drier skin, you are going to want to take a powder that has a little bit of luminosity to it. Now, that's not to say that you absolutely have to have powder. If you don't like powder, then you can just go on from here, apply some blush, and you're on your way. But for most people, they're gonna wanna set their foundation with something so that it has the ability to stay on all day. So when you set your foundation, it has a lot more longevity. If you don't, it's not going to stay as long. It's just the simple matter of it. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take a powder. I'm gonna be taking the luminous powder from Mireness, and I'm just gonna be popping this lightly all over the face. Now for my more oilier skin girls, you can absolutely use a pressed powder. This one's by Mireness. You could also use a loose powder. It does not matter, but this setting process is going to be essential for you because again, you are gonna have to set this because your oils will come through. You've already done 2 layers. You've used your primer that's oil absorbing, your foundation that is more skin-like or matte, and then a little bit of setting with powder. Again, I sometimes like to use pressed powder with people that are more oily because you guys will have to touch up, and it's a lot easier to touch up with a pressed compact powder than it is to touch up with a loose powder, but it's going to be your preference. All right, this powder is so pretty. It really blurs pores. All right, so we still got our glow on this side, and we don't have very much glow on this side of the face. Now, what I would suggest is I am going to be using more matte products. So I'm going to be using more matte blushes, matte bronzer, and I'm going to use a little bit glowier on this side. So if you have more oilier skin, you want to use a matte bronzer, and then you can use a little bit of a glowing blush. But on this side, you want to go ahead and use a little bit more glowier products. So I'm going to do that and I'll be right back. So for the final step, it's going to be setting the face. For a more drier skin type, I would really highly recommend using a spray that has no alcohol in it. So it's not really going to be a traditional setting spray. So we're just gonna spray this side of the face, let it kind of chill. The reason being is if you are more dry, it is going to be a good idea to really kind of hit the face with a little bit of some sort of hydrating spray to really melt all the powders into it, to really take away some of that powderiness if you've overdone it. It's just an all-around good idea if you are more normal to dehydrated skin. Now, if you are more on the oily side, I do not recommend this every day, okay? I recommend this to be on more of a special occasion or if your skin can handle it. It needs to be a setting spray with alcohol in it. So it will do the same thing as the other one. It'll kind of melt the powders together, but it will not add too much glow, and it will help your makeup stay on all day. Now, again, just understand that alcohol can have a drying component to it, which nobody's skin needs. But if you really suffer from your makeup breaking up and not staying and all of that stuff, it might be something that you have to do. So it's going to be a personal choice for you. So let's go run into some natural light and I'll show you what it looks like. All right, loves, here we are in natural light. You can see that this side has a much more glowy, luminous feel to it. And then this side, of course, is more matte. Now, I will be showing you how long I can wear this. I have worn this for close to 8 hours and it has looked beautiful. So I will check in at the end of the day, show you what it looks like, show you how many hours I wore it. I just wanted to give you a real check-in to show you the real difference in daylight, because that's really where it matters. That's really where you can see the difference in the application method. So you're going to choose whichever is best for you. I hope that these tips help you navigate how to pick out appropriate foundation, whether you are oily, dry, dehydrated, combination. But yes, these are my tried and true tricks. I'll check in with you a little bit later. All right, loves, we are 6.5 hours later, so it has been a total of about 7.5 hours of wear time. The sun is going down, and so I did not want to do this in studio lighting. I wanted to show you in person, so I could totally wear this for many more hours after this, but I just wanted to make sure that you guys saw it in real light. So, of course, here is the matte side, still looking really good. Obviously, lipstick's all off, but this side is still looking really nice and glowy. It's a really long-wearing foundation. I'm a big fan of it. So here's what it looks like at about 7.5 hours later, and it doesn't come off on my nose, and so I've been a big fan of it. I really, really have. So I hope that these tips help you, and thank you so, so much for being here. I will see you on Sunday, and lots of love from me to you. Bye, guys.